My name is Irene Holmes. Welcome to my stories.
Part 3, Chapter 1. They chose a quiet spot, a little off the main path, a bench half hidden by trees where people rarely lingered and conversations couldn't accidentally reach other people's ears. Loretta preferred places like this, old habit. Privacy was never about secrecy, it was about respect. She didn't start right away. For a while, they simply sat there, watching the slow movement of the community around them. Walkers passing by, distant laughter, the calm rhythm of a place that believed itself safe. Then Loretta spoke, quietly, as if continuing a thought she had been carrying for days. There was still one name on her list, a former colleague, Samuel. She hadn't planned to bring him up, but some names refused to stay buried. They surface on their own, unchanged by time, carrying the same unpleasant weight they always had. In the police department, Samuel was never liked. Not because he was rude or loud. Those kinds of people were easy to deal with. Samuel was different. Around him, conversations grew quieter. People chose their words more carefully. Chairs shifted just a little farther away. He never rushed, never made mistakes, and never did anything openly. Back then, everyone knew what he was doing. He protected small business owners, took money for peace of mind. Not enough to ruin anyone, just enough to make resistance seem pointless. There were no reports, no official complaints, only whispers in hallways and cautious looks exchanged behind his back. Samuel wasn't caught, he was avoided. Loretta remembered that feeling clearly. Not an event, not a case, but an atmosphere. A sticky, uncomfortable awareness that some people lived off money that never appeared on paper. People like Samuel didn't gamble, they collected. That had been years ago, and that was exactly what worried her now. She had no idea what he was doing these days. No clear picture, no facts. Only the certainty that habits like his didn't disappear. They adapted. People like Samuel didn't change their nature. They simply changed their surroundings. Once, his money came from frightened shop owners. Now, his surroundings were older, slower, more trusting. Loretta didn't voice all of this directly. She didn't need to. Grayson was listening the way journalists listen, not for dramatic moments, but for patterns. He understood that this wasn't about the past. It was about what the past usually leads to when no one is paying attention. At some point, she noticed the shift. He had already made up his mind, not out of loyalty, not out of affection, but because he recognized a familiar shape to the story, one that tended to end badly if left alone for too long. Grayson knew how men talked to one another when they believed the conversation was harmless. He knew how information surfaced casually, disguised as jokes, complaints, or nostalgic stories about the good old days. He also knew when not to ask questions at all. Loretta let him take that role, not because she trusted blindly, but because Samuel was the kind of man who eventually exposed himself, not under pressure, but in comfort. And comfort, she knew, could be far more dangerous than confrontation.